Alright, good morning. So I made a video yesterday talking about circumcision and how, Paul explains that circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing but the keeping of the commandments of God. But the verses before that, I had never really given too much focus to. And fool me, because they're insane. They're absolutely incredible, okay? So many times I've made videos explaining how Yeshua, and this is all ordained by God, that Yeshua is a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel. So both to the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. That's the two kingdoms. Yeshua is a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. So why is that? Well, 1 Peter 2 explains to us it's because they are disobedient in the word, so they stumble. And then 1 John 2, is it 1 John 2? Yeah, 1 John 2 explains that he that loves his brother walks in the light, and there is no occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hates his brother, he that doesn't fulfill the royal law, he walks in darkness and stumbles over everything, and both the house of Israel and the house of Judah are guilty of this. Okay, now in 1 Corinthians 7, in the verses leading up to the one I just explained, it says, and it's a little bit wordy, so sorry if I say the wrong word or something, my bad, okay? So he says, he that is called in circumcision, let him not become uncircumcised. And he that is called in uncircumcision, let him not become circumcised. Okay? So, first of all, what does it mean, he that is called? Called to do what? Well, it's called to become the very elect. Called to be saints. It's called to be obedient to, fulfill the royal law, to receive the meat in due season, to proclaim it until New Jerusalem is appraised in all the earth. You've been called to do what me and my brothers and sisters are doing. That's the calling. This is the calling. Okay? So, he that is being called in circumcision, this is like, it's saying, if you've been called and you're part of the southern kingdom of Judah, because what you have to understand is, when Paul is saying circumcision and uncircumcision, he's referring to the house of Israel or the house of Judah and the house of Israel. Obviously, the house of Judah representing the circumcision and the house of Israel representing the uncircumcision. Okay? So, if you've been called and you're of the house of Judah, don't become uncircumcised. So how does that work? How can you become uncircumcised if you're already circumcised? Well, he's saying if you're physically circumcised and you're of the house of Judah, then the law has never departed from you. So you high up in the rabbinical system and in the Sanhedrin and all that kind of stuff, they will know 100% that the northern kingdom of Israel went into captivity in Assyria and they never returned, and that their job was they were supposed to go and find them. They were supposed to go and find their lost brothers and sisters of the northern kingdom, but they haven't done it. They have not done it, and that's because they're uncircumcised in heart. They're not willing to listen to God's instruction. They're disobedient. So he's warning them of the southern kingdom of Judah, don't be like your other southern kingdom brothers and sisters and be uncircumcised in heart. You listen to my instruction if you've been called. And then he flips it and he says that he that has been called in uncircumcision, so if you've been called of the northern kingdom of Israel, don't become circumcised. Now what does that mean? He's warning them not to go to the letter of the law. So what happens with people of the northern kingdom of Israel when God convicts them of the errors of the church? They hear for a time, but then they stop their ears from hearing, and they go to the letter of the law. And Paul, when he's explaining this very same topic in Romans 2, even warns you of doing that. He says, the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. He's driving behind the world's slowest driver here. So, the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. And so, he's warning those people who have been called of the northern kingdom of Israel, don't do what these people in the Torah movement do and go to the letter of the law. Because the reason why they do go to the letter of the law is because, as I've explained many times before, they're just looking to save their own souls. They don't care about anyone else. That's why they go to the letter of the law. Because they just read God's instruction and they just think, right, I'll just do everything. I'll just do absolutely everything that's written in here, and then I can't miss, I can't be wrong. But God has written his word deliberately in such a way that he's going to catch people out who have this heart. He's looking for the people who are going to read his full instruction. And if you actually did that with a humble heart, you would see that there are things written within God's law that were only for a time. And circumcision is one of those. Yes, it was the token of the covenant, and it still is. But he's looking for circumcised hearts, and that's even what the physical circumcision was always meant to represent. And that's why in Romans 2, Paul is saying that if you are physically circumcised, but your heart is disobedient, your physical circumcision is counted for uncircumcision because you've got an uncircumcised heart. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing if you are not circumcised in your heart. And likewise, vice versa, if you are physically uncircumcised, your uncircumcision means nothing if your heart is circumcised, because you've done what God was looking for in the first place. You've already ticked the box. There's no need for you to become physically circumcised when you've already got a circumcised heart. So, but both the house of Israel and the house of Judah is going to go to the letter of, they're going to go in error. They're going to go to the letter of the law, or they're going to, just be wicked in their heart and not care for God's people at all. And they're going to turn away from this calling. It's incredible, like both the houses of Israel are going to be in error. And it's only the very elect who are actually on that narrow road, who are on that narrow path, the path that leads to life. They're the only ones who are on it. So, yeah, there you go.